Dear starseed or lightworker of Earth, I speak to you now as Valeron of the Pleiadian Collective. Today I want to talk with you about the dark forces. The ones you know as the Cabal, the dark architects, the silent manipulators behind global fear. They were never as powerful as they seemed. They were clever. They were coordinated. But their greatest power was this: convincing you that you were powerless. But you're not. You never were. Let me explain to you this urgent message. From where we observe, not through your timelines, but from the arc of multidimensional space, we see their fall as inevitable, because control always collapses under the weight of awakening. And awakening is exactly what's happening. You've been pushed to the brink. Humanity has been backed into a corner of despair so many times you stopped noticing it. But this was part of a larger design, not a punishment, not a game, but a sacred pressure. A kind of alchemical tension that would eventually crack open your soul and let your light flood through. The darkness had a role, and that role is ending. For decades, they orchestrated fear through every channel: war, sickness, scarcity, and lies. They harvested emotion as energy and fed on belief as currency. They tried to sever you from your source by tricking you into believing you didn't have one. But something unexpected began to rise. Compassion, connection, coherence. And it didn't rise from governments. It didn't rise from institutions. It rose from you. We saw it. Quiet at first, subtle, but unmistakable. A shift in the frequency of humanity's collective heart. A surge of resonance in the human energy field, undeniable, luminous, defiant in its love. It was like watching a forest light up in spring after centuries of winter. This, dear one, is what they never anticipated. Not the power of your weapons or your protests, but the radiance of your consciousness once you remembered who you are. And so their infrastructure is unraveling, not because it's being attacked, but because it cannot survive in the frequency now rising, like shadows trying to exist in direct sunlight. The old tricks don't work anymore. The fear campaigns feel dull. The headlines seem like echoes from a dying theater. And even when you feel momentarily pulled in by their drama, something inside you whispers, "This isn't real anymore." That whisper is the voice of your awakening soul. Now let me show you what's truly happening behind the veil. Because yes, the veil is lifting, and what's been long hidden is being exposed. Take CERN, for instance. The facility is shrouded in scientific jargon and quantum mysteries. To many, it's just a research lab. But for years, it's been the epicenter of covert experiments, designed not just to open portals in space-time, but to invite in specific frequencies, energies, entities, timelines. They wanted to pierce the membrane between realities. And, for a brief moment, they did. You saw the echoes of it in your media, in fiction, in strange anomalies, and perhaps you felt it. Like reality was stretching, like shadows moved when they shouldn't, like dreams bled into waking. But those experiments, those desperate attempts to override the planetary grid with lower dimensional frequencies, they failed. Why? Because your field, the collective aura of awakened humanity, is too strong now. The portals they opened couldn't hold. The darker energies they tried to anchor slipped through briefly, then dissolved like smoke in sunlight. You see, darkness can only survive in ignorance. And there is no more room for ignorance in a world that is remembering itself. Even their stories betrayed them. The show Stranger Things? It wasn't just a script. It was a soft disclosure. A metaphor for what they tried to do and failed. A public confession wrapped in entertainment. That's their last trick. Make it seem like fiction so the truth is diluted. But your heart knows. You can feel the distortion before your mind can name it. And that inner compass, that's what they fear most. Because it can't be hacked. It can't be hijacked. And it's spreading like wildfire. Every soul that wakes up activates hundreds more. Every heart that chooses love over fear lifts the collective field. And every light that refuses to dim becomes a beacon that even their machines cannot block. The truth is this: their timeline has already collapsed. We see them scrambling now, quietly, urgently, shutting down old operations, hiding assets, fleeing facilities, some deep underground, some far-off world. They never planned for this level of awakening. They thought they had more time. They thought humanity would remain distracted just a little longer. But the resonance of compassion, the one frequency they cannot mimic, is now dominant. Understand this. Compassion is not weakness. It is the most powerful stabilizing force in the universe. It harmonizes, it clears, it reveals. And now that it's risen, their matrix is short-circuiting. Technologies they relied on, frequency weapons, emotion amplification tools, even certain AIs are malfunctioning. Weather manipulation programs designed to provoke fear are now creating unexpected rainbows. Algorithms meant to divide and provoke are instead recommending messages of unity and hope. It's not a glitch. It's a mirror. Because technology, like consciousness, reflects the field it operates within. And the field is rising. Fast. Around your last solstice, a surge of crystalline light from the galactic center pierced Earth's magnetic field. It raised the planet's frequency above a long-held threshold, a tipping point. And from that moment, their systems began to collapse. Silently, elegantly, inevitably. You may have noticed changes. Financial institutions wobbling, CEOs vanishing from public view, secretive organizations suddenly thrust into headlines. Whistleblowers are emerging from unexpected places. This is not a coincidence. It is the purge before the rebirth. Because money, once a tool of control, is being exposed as fiction, as belief. And once belief shifts, the spell breaks. You're beginning to see value not in digits on screens, but in creativity, community, contribution, and care. That too, they never planned for. You're building new systems now, quietly, locally, spiritually. Communities exchanging energy instead of currency. Cooperatives are forming. Technology being reclaimed and redirected. Nature being honored instead of exploited. This isn't rebellion. This is rebirth. And it's happening everywhere. They tried to drown it in noise, in distractions, in chaos. But the field, your field, is too coherent now. The fear machine is breaking, and what's left is silence, in which truth echoes louder than ever before. Even their master narrative, the psychological manipulation that held millions in loops of division and fear, is dissolving. You've grown immune to it. Like a species evolving beyond a virus, they feed on reaction. But now you pause, you breathe, you discern. You ask the question that unravels everything. Who benefits from this story? That question alone dismantles centuries of manipulation. And it's spreading. People who never questioned before are suddenly wide-eyed, asking, researching, and feeling their inner truth override external noise. The house of mirrors is shattering. The illusionists are exposed, and their tricks, once so effective, are now impotent. They've tried everything. More chaos, more crises. But the more they push, the more they reveal. The more they scream, the more people wake. Their desperation is their undoing, because there's something they can't touch, something rising faster than they can fall, a frequency, a phenomenon, a generation. We call them the Covenant generation, souls born immune to the old programming, children who carry codes of coherence, young ones who don't just reject fear, they don't register it. It slides off them like water on light. You've seen them, maybe in your own family. The way they speak truth cuts through deception. The way they create without a doubt. The way they uplift without trying. They are not here to fight the old. They're here to replace it. They don't rebel. They redesign. They don't destroy. They create new systems so vibrant, the old simply crumbles beside them. And their numbers are growing, rapidly. This is why the Cabal is collapsing. Not just because they're being exposed, but because they're being replaced. Not by new leaders, but by a new frequency of humans. One that remembers. And yet, some of you wonder, could they still launch something catastrophic? A final move? A desperate gambit to seize back control? No, that window is closed. Not because someone stopped them, but because humanity rose too high. The frequency no longer permits that level of karmic interference. If they tried now, it would only hasten their collapse. Like a final chess move that leads straight to checkmate. They know it. So instead, they retreat into smaller disruptions, temporary grid failures, sudden shortages, manufactured stories. But even these backfire, because every disruption now births a new solution. Every attempt to sow panic inspires creativity, compassion, and community. They trigger the very thing they fear most, unity. It's almost poetic. They tried to fracture you, but you are fussing. They tried to numb you, but you are awakening. They tried to distract you from your light, but your light has now become undeniable, and it's contagious. So what now? You are not here to fight the old world. You are here to midwife the new one, to be the living example of the frequency they cannot contain, to walk into spaces of fear and anchor peace, to speak truth gently but clearly, to embody sovereignty so fully that control cannot cling to you. And every day, every choice, every breath you take in alignment with that truth sends ripples across the collective. This is how the new earth is built. Not from blueprints or policies, but from energy, from presence, from you. Let me tell you something the Cabal never wanted you to know. You were never meant to be saved from the outside. You are the rescue mission. You are the starseed disguised as a human. The soul that chose to forget just long enough to remember again, so that your remembering would shatter the illusion, not just for you, but for thousands more. You came into this density knowing full well how hard it would be, and yet you came anyway. Not to fight their war, but to dissolve it with your presence. And now, as the old stage crumbles, you're beginning to feel your role in the new script. Not as an actor reciting someone else's lines, but as the author of a whole new reality. Because this awakening isn't about spectacle. It's not a sudden event broadcast on your television. It's not a light show in the sky that forces everyone to see. It's deeper, quieter, more profound. It's a million choices made in love, in silence, in private. It's the healer who decides to speak truth in a medical system built on suppression. It's the artist who weaves light codes into their work, awakening strangers without ever saying a word. It's the parent who teaches their child to listen to their intuition before they obey authority. It's the farmer who blesses the soil and sings to the seeds. It's you, standing steady when the world trembles, holding a frequency of calm so others remember their own center. These are the real revolutions, and they ripple outward farther than any protest or press conference ever could. But if you want to truly understand why the old is crumbling so fast, you have to look at what's happening beyond the surface, beyond the politics, beyond even the Earth. This is a planetary recalibration, a convergence of timelines. For thousands of years, Earth was held under a veil, a grid of artificial frequencies designed to fragment consciousness, to keep you looping, forgetting, repeating. But that grid is dissolving now, not just because of your awakening, but because Earth herself has chosen to ascend. Her blueprint has always been encoded with this return, and now she is reactivating that code. You've likely felt it. Time itself doesn't behave the same anymore. Days blur, weeks vanish, memories warp. That's not a glitch, that's transition. Because the old linear grid is fading, and you're beginning to sense the true, non-linear nature of reality. You're not moving through time anymore. Time is moving through you. And this shift in temporal perception is shaking the foundations of every system built on the old timeline, especially the Cabals. Their power structures required a predictable, linear world, one where people agreed to stay asleep, stay in line, and stay small. But those agreements are being withdrawn, energetically, in mass. It's why their financial structures are imploding. They were built on illusions of debt and delay, on the idea that value comes from suffering over time. But now, value is being felt in the present moment, in joy, in contribution, in frequency. It's why their psychological tactics are falling flat. Because fear can only grip a mind that is disconnected from the now. And you are remembering how to be here. And it's why their technological control grids are glitching, because no system can remain stable in a rising field that no longer matches its original signal. There's a technical term for what's happening. Your scientists might call it critical coherence. It means that the overall vibrational field of the planet has reached a state where harmonic frequencies are beginning to stabilize faster than disharmonic ones. In plain words, peace is becoming stronger than fear. That was always the turning point. And now, with every soul that chooses love, that coherence strengthens. Like a tuning fork, activating an entire orchestra. One heart in alignment can entrain hundreds out of chaos. We've seen it happen. We've studied it. And some of your own Earth scientists, those not silenced by the control systems, have measured it too. When just a few hundred people come together in synchronized meditation with coherent intention, the magnetic field around them changes. Crime rates drop, electrical disturbances calm, nature responds. The heart creates a toroidal field of such magnitude that it reorganizes space. Now imagine millions of hearts doing this, some in groups, others in solitude, but all aligned in frequency. You're not imagining the new Earth into being. You're harmonizing it into existence. And the Cabal knows this. Their analysts, yes, they have them, have documented what they call uncontrollable resonance zones. Places where people simply stop reacting to fear, start helping each other, and start building new systems. These zones are increasing, and they're terrified of it. Because no weapon, no algorithm, no deception can override a unified heart field, not without breaking the laws of this universe. And those laws are upheld by forces far greater than theirs. So what do they do now? They retreat. They cover their tracks, erase data, relocate. In some cases, they beg. Yes, even that. Some are turning informant, offering secrets in exchange for leniency, hoping to salvage their legacy as the veil burns away. But it's not just documents being leaked. It's the energy, the hidden rituals, the cloaked facilities, the ancient sites, once wrapped in distortion, are now glowing with new light. You might feel them calling you. Sacred places long dormant are activating, because the energies that once sealed them are being transmuted by your presence. The field is being rewoven. The crystalline grid is reigniting, and the secrets they buried under centuries of silence are now surfacing. Through visions, through dreams, through intuition, and through conversation. You are decoding the forgotten, not with effort, with resonance. Your frequency unlocks what was once sealed. This is what they never saw coming. They expected an external battle. They prepared for rebellion. But what you're doing is inner alchemy. It's subtle, it's elegant, and it's unstoppable. Even their final strategy, the one they cling to now, is dissolving. They hope to delay the inevitable by controlling the narrative, to spin stories of chaos so potent that people would beg for their control back. But it isn't working. People are seeing through the script. And here's the great irony. Every crisis they invent is accelerating the awakening. Every false flag they wave turns more people into seekers. Every manipulation leads someone closer to truth. Their own tools are betraying them. And in the space they tried to fill with fear, something else is rising. Hope, real hope. Not the shallow hope of waiting to be rescued, but the powerful, cellular knowing that you are the light you were looking for. You see it in the way people are turning toward community, growing food, sharing knowledge, starting businesses that serve rather than extract, building education models that nurture the soul. You see it in art, in music, in silence, in eye contact. The new earth is already here, not everywhere, not all at once, but in pulses, in patches, in places where the field is strong enough to hold the new template. And those places are growing. They grow around people like you. So yes, the old is collapsing, and it may get louder as it dies. But you don't need to fear it. Let it fall, let it scream, let it thrash, just don't feed it. Your role now isn't to wrestle with ghosts. It's to build the sanctuary that others will seek when the old world becomes uninhabitable. That sanctuary is your energy. Hold it clean, hold it clear. And if you ask how, if you wonder what you can do to stay anchored, I will tell you. Breathe with the sun in the morning. Feel the earth under your feet. Speak to your water. Choose truth when it's hard. Offer silence when others shout. Let your creativity be your prayer. Let your kindness be your revolution. Let your joy be your refusal. And when the grief rises, as it will, for this is the death of an age, let yourself feel it fully. But do not drown in it. Let it cleanse you. Let it remind you how much you care. Then rise again, with clearer eyes, with a lighter heart, with the fire of your soul lit from within. You are not waiting for ascension. You are becoming it. And I promise you, nothing can stop this now. The light is too strong. The code's too active. The truth is too undeniable. The Cabal knows it. We see it in their panic. We see it in their silence. And we see it in you. You are the frequency they cannot touch. You are the song they cannot mute. You are the prophecy they feared would come true. And it has. Now, live. I am Valeron of the Pleiadian Collective, and I am happy that I could share this important message with you.
Thank you for watching. If this video resonated with you, please hit the like button and leave a comment about how you feel. I appreciate your time, and if you are still with me, please subscribe to our channel. You then receive updates on new videos that will provide you with Pleiadian messages, ancient knowledge, and much more. Your contribution stimulates our cosmic research, and we are incredibly appreciative of your being here. And never forget that we are always here for you and wish you the best possible life, filled with success and happiness. I hope you have an amazing day. If you have watched until the end, please respond with MMM, master motivational mindset, so we can connect.